Social media is in for some more changes, and I don't think they're good. So this is from NBC News. They say, Twitter is experimenting with adding brightly colored labels directly beneath lies and misinformation posted by politicians and other public figures, according to a leaked demo of new features sent to NBC News. Twitter confirmed that the leaked demo, which was accessible on a publicly available site, is one possible iteration of a new policy to target misinformation. The company does not have a date to roll out any new misinformation features. In this new version, disinformation or misleading information posted by public figures would be corrected directly beneath a tweet by fact-checkers and journalists who are verified on the platform, and possibly by other users who would participate in a new community reports feature, which the demo claims is, quote, like Wikipedia. All right, listen, here we go again. Let me explain to you guys why this is a terrible idea. Now, it's not that it's a terrible idea because, there's no misinformation or false stuff that goes around on social media. To the contrary, of course there are terrible false things that go around social media. Duh, that happens with any social media site. That happens in any kind of public forum. If you walk into a restaurant at 8 o'clock at night and you listen in on all the conversations happening at all the different tables, there's going to be a bunch of misinformation spread in there because human beings are human beings. So it's not that this is bad because, everything said on social media is okay. No. It's bad for a very basic structural reason. Namely, why the hell should I trust the people that you determined are good fact checkers? Why should I trust them? Why should I trust the fact checkers, and then who will fact check the fact checkers? And then you guys said right there, we're going to have a community reports feature as well. How do we know the community can't be equally wrong to whatever the hell they're trying to fix or trying to fact check? Guys, I need to make this point again because I think it really just obliterates this whole movement here. If you said in 2003, Iraq does not have weapons of mass destruction, Saddam Hussein has no connections to Osama bin Laden, the war in Iraq is nonsense, you would have been called wrong. If Twitter existed in 2003 and this feature existed in 2003, and you tweeted something like, Osama bin Laden has no connection to Saddam Hussein is not a threat to us, and he has no weapons of mass destruction, they would have said in a bright color underneath, like, this is wrong, and here's a source that discredits it. But it turns out that that's correct. If you say, Kyle, I don't want to go that far back. Come on, that's a bad example. Okay, well, in 2016, when WikiLeaks released the information on Hillary Clinton and the DNC, and we learned that basically the primary was rigged. And there's a million facts about that. Like, for example, the Hillary campaign had veto power on any press release from the DNC. There literally was a fundraising agreement between the two of them. They raised money acting like we're raising it for down ballot races, and then she kept it all for her campaign. There's a million things that they did. Her getting, stuff from Donna Brazile before the debates, knowing the questions in advance. Like, we learned all of this stuff. And if you tweeted about it, if you said something about it, if you gave a specific example of it, there's a very good chance right underneath your tweet, according to this system, they would say, no, this is a disinformation campaign, so discard all this stuff. Why? Because their argument would be, hey, we think this came from Russia. We think the source of this was Russia, so therefore it's election interference, so therefore you're not allowed to talk about it. But what if it's true? What if it actually happened? We learned some of what her speeches were behind closed doors to financial elites. And what was she saying? She literally argued like, there's a real sense of bigotry in the country against rich people these days. And that's a real shame. We should have totally free and open trade borders. All that stuff is important to know if a presidential candidate is running. That this is what they think. There's bigotry against the rich. That's what they think? They think we need to do NAFTA and TPP on steroids and have totally free and open trade borders? Namely, hey, wild, wild west of outsourcing. Ship out all the jobs if you want to. Yay! This is stuff she said. And if you tweeted about it, you spoke about it, they would have called you a conspiracy theorist or you a Russian disinformation agent. Do you see how ultimately what happens here is this feature serves the powerful? Because the powerful are going to protect the powerful. The people they hire to be fact checkers are going to be establishment journalists. The same establishment journalists who got a million things wrong. And then the flip side of this is true as well. How many things were reported on Russiagate that turned out to be totally false? But at the time, everybody was reporting it as if, what do you mean? This is what happens. This is true. So you could say the most hyperbolic thing about Donald Trump being a Manchurian candidate, Donald Trump being Putin's puppet, and under this system, they wouldn't say, oh, that's factually incorrect, even though it is factually incorrect. So do you see the ways that this is nonsense? It's never going to work. Listen, there's no need and there's no reason for a ministry of truth, because these are also just human beings with their own biases and their own issues and their own problems. That's not to say that an objective reality doesn't exist. Of course, an objective reality does exist, but I don't trust the powers that be to determine what isn't true. So piss off with this, Twitter. You need to not go down this road. It's a terrible road to go down. And I would argue it's even, in a way, it does violate freedom of speech. It's not necessarily illegal because they're a private company. They can do whatever they want, but certainly it violates the principle of free speech because you're de facto censoring whoever you want to censor and using this veneer of, oh, we're the experts. Well, you're the experts and you've been wrong 1,000 times before and you'll be wrong 1,000 times more. Put my record up against any establishment hack and I guarantee you my record is better, but under a system like this, they'll pretend like mine is worse and what they're saying is true by definition. Some of the fact checkers they're going to use are going to be like people from CNN and shit. CNN. Again, wrong about so much. But oh yeah, no, they're good enough to fact check you. Piss off with that.